how does education contribute to healthier communities? Will we ever get to a point where we have communities in a state where we can call them healthy? That was the first question that I had for myself. A second question was the question relating to, can education rescue the Northern Cape child? The second question I had with myself was, who needs to be saved here? Is it the child? Or is it the education? Or is it maybe both? I don't know. And then I got a brief, and my brief was really to speak on the role of education in the psychosocial well-being of individuals and how education can contribute towards building healthier communities. Now, from where I'm standing, first of all, I'm a clinical psychologist, I'm not an educationist. So I'm in difficult terrain already. So I would like to speak as a psychologist, but I also would like to merge the two. There was something else that I would like to just add to the question. There was another, the brief was quite broad, I must say, because there was another thing that was of particular interest to me, and that's the fact that says, given the protest in Kurman, that saw learners lose a year of school, it is clear that the value of education is not universally accepted. How can parents, teachers, and community leaders work together to protect learners' rights?
What is education? Because if we hear that, can education rescue a non-educated child? And we hear those topics that we are talking about woman abuse, alcohol abuse, and then among these things, no one mentions anything about mindset. Because if we talk about alcohol abuse, we've been fighting women and children abuse for many years in South Africa. We've been fighting abuse of alcohol for many years in South Africa. But is there anyone, and I'm posting it on our panel there, because the panelists have been hearing from Professor Balin to the MEC, or starting with the MEC. But is there something that can be done where we are not going to focus on the behavior? Because if you focus on the behavior, like Mr. Mokai was saying, he's telling his stories. The stories are wonderful because you can remember them for a very long time. Now, if we alter behaviors without going to the root cause, that is when we are going to be having a problem. Like you remember the Jamaican singer Bob Marley when he says, change the mindset, and then you'll be able to change a human being. Now,
I have a very, very good sense of how social conditions make people's decisions for them. Agency is important. You must make your choices as an individual. But too often we live in communities where our decisions are made for us, even before we think about them. And bright people fall by the wayside. And the greatest thing that we have to apologize for is unfulfilled potential. Education is not the answer, it's an answer. You get educated people who do terrible things. But it's an answer. And at least it creates the opportunity for young people to open doors that would otherwise have been closed to them. It costs about 25,000 rand of tuition fees. If we charge no fees, there are still young people who are bright enough but who cannot come to university in this country, even if the fees were zero. 25,000 rand is a lot of money. But the real cost of keeping a student at Salt Lake University is about 100,000 rand. Who's paying the difference? The taxpayer. So I say to my students, if you fail a course, go and apologize to the man who's sweeping the street, or the lady at the checkout counter at your favorite shopping center, because they paid your fees. The working classes sweat in this country so that young people can go to school and to university. And that brings me to a point I want to make. Apartheid's greatest harm, there's nothing that they did that was more harmful than to interfere in the relationship between those who wanted to teach and those who wanted to learn. I got taught maths by a guy who was under house arrest. The security police was in the front, we used to jump in the back window, and that's how we taught. Apartheid interfered in the relationship between those who want to teach and those who want to learn. I've said this before and I've said it publicly. There is one way to stop me from teaching. You arrive with a large gun, and then you shoot me. Because if you burn down my classroom, I'll teach under a tree. But if there's one young person who says, Professor, I want to learn, I get out of bed and I come and teach.
I'm quite uncomfortable with a situation where there is a lot of reliance on government by artists. You know, I want us as artists to graduate from being artists with a cap in hand to be an artist who gets paid for what you are saying, for your piece of art that you are saying to the society. And that is why I tell a lot of writers, especially because I interact more with writers and aspiring writers than I do with other artists, that if you write a book and the only person in the institution that is prepared to pay for your book is the government, then you're in big trouble. It shouldn't be like that. But here we're talking about a change of mindset, not only from artists, but from the government as well, the Department of Arts and Culture, as well as artists as a community. We still have not convened a gathering where there would be no speeches, but where we're going to discuss what we're going to do to make sure that the artists graduate from the artist who asks for funding to the artist who says, I'm creating this and I'm selling it